Hey, like Muhammad Ali says, the will got to be stronger than the skills. Today wasn't about skills. Today was about will strength. And I knew the type of fighter I was fighting. This guy's a triathlon athlete, for crying out loud. And if I was tired, I knew he was more tired because I worked very hard for this. He's never been 12 rounds before. So we knew we had to break him down. Body shots were hurting him. But this is what it's all about, fighting the best. This is the fight game. You know, this is what we signed for.
The boxing world is in complete shock after Teofimo Lopez stunned fans with an unexpected retirement announcement following his heavy defeat to Shakur Stevenson at Madison Square Garden. What was supposed to be the pinnacle of Lopez's career instead turned into one of the most emotional and heartbreaking moments in modern boxing, as he confirmed he is stepping away from the sport immediately. Just hours after losing to Stevenson in front of a sold-out MSG crowd, Lopez gave a post-fight interview that is already being remembered as one of the most startling moments of 2026. With visible emotion in his eyes and a trembling voice, he told the interviewer something that sent shockwaves throughout the entire combat sports world.
You can't tell me I'm not great. You cannot tell me I'm not the double greatest since Muhammad Ali. This is what I do. This is what I do best. Now, just to steer it up, I might retire after this. Retirement, man. I'm kind of tired.
Teofimo spoke with raw emotion, saying, "I am finished. I gave everything I had tonight, and it still wasn't enough. I cannot keep doing this to myself or my family. This was my final fight." The words came completely out of nowhere, leaving everyone in the arena and watching from home, stunned by the emotional weight of the former lightweight champion's announcement. The reaction was immediate, with social media exploding as fans shared shock, sadness, and disbelief that this could truly mark the end of his career. But before diving into the full impact of his retirement and what it might mean, it's important to reflect on what happened in the ring. What pushed Lopez to this point? The fight itself was a flawless performance by Shakur Stevenson, who once again showcased why he is regarded as one of the most skilled and talented boxers in the world today.
Millions, if you could make hundreds.
Of millions?
Yeah.
You believe you can make hundreds of millions outside of boxing?
I believe so, yes, I do.
Well, I understand where you would get your confidence.
From the very first bell, Shakur Stevenson seized complete control of the fight's pace, spacing, and direction, using sharp technique and elite defense that left Teofimo Lopez increasingly frustrated round after round. Lopez started strong in the opening 3 rounds, pressing forward and trying to apply pressure while hunting for the heavy shots his team had promised during fight week. But Stevenson evaded punches effortlessly, causing Lopez to miss repeatedly while landing precise counters that snapped Lopez's head back and caught the judge's attention with their accuracy. By the 4th round, Lopez's frustration was visible in his body language, as nothing he tried seemed effective against Stevenson's smart defense and superior ring IQ.
Oh, I'm very happy. The name of the game in boxing is hit and don't get hit. I'm a master of it. I didn't get hit, and I hit the guy more than he hit me. So it was a great performance for me. I'm happy with it.
Spectators near the ring reported hearing Teofimo's corner urging him to stay composed and wait for openings, rather than charging forward recklessly. The 6th round proved particularly brutal for Lopez, as Shakur landed a clean 3-punch combination that left him badly hurt, forcing him to cling to the ropes just to stay on his feet. The Madison Square Garden crowd erupted as Stevenson displayed a ruthless edge that many critics acclaimed he lacked, moving in for the finish and landing powerful shots on a wounded Lopez. While Lopez managed to survive the round, the damage was evident. His face bore the marks, and his eyes reflected a fighter searching for answers that never came. From rounds 7 through 9, Stevenson maintained total control, fighting with unwavering confidence and making Lopez appear completely outmatched.
Well, Shakur, congratulations. Biggest fight of your career, you come up with looked like the finest performance of your career. Was that the performance you were looking for?
Nah, I came in here to prove a point. It wasn't the performance I was looking for because I came in here trying to prove a point and I was trying to...
Every time Lopez attempted to mount any offense, Shakur shut it down immediately with perfect timing, agile footwork, and clean counterpunches that scored points and gradually chipped away at Lopez's confidence. One ringside observer later described it as watching a master strategist go up against someone still learning the basics, with Stevenson always thinking several moves ahead. That in round 10, Lopez made a final, desperate push, throwing everything he had left in hopes of landing a knockout punch that could turn the fight around. He managed to connect with a few solid shots that briefly energized the crowd. But Stevenson remained composed, absorbed the attacks, and responded with his own precise combinations. The last 2 rounds were tough for Lopez's supporters to watch, as he appeared utterly beaten both physically and mentally, while Shakur maintained control, calmly closing out the fight and securing a decisive victory.
My opponent was a hell of an opponent. He came here, he pushed me to another level. He made me make adjustments in there, he made me think a little bit. And I had to show y'all that I'm a dog too. Y'all keep saying that I'm a runner, I'm pillow-fisted, so I kind of stood there in the pocket.
When the final bell rang, everyone at Madison Square Garden already knew the outcome, and Lopez knew it too, as the heartbreak on his face made painfully clear. The judges' scorecards reflected Shakur Stevenson's dominance, 118 to 110, 117 to 111, and 119 to 109, all in his favor. It was a decisive victory that felt even more one-sided than the numbers suggested. Stevenson celebrated with his team, while Lopez stayed in his corner, completely crushed by the realization that his best effort wasn't enough on the biggest stage of his career.
Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, it was a great performance, man. He came in with a game plan. He didn't let up.
The in-ring post-fight interview was brief and uncomfortable, with Teofimo giving short answers and clearly eager to leave the spotlight as quickly as possible. However, it was a later backstage interview that truly showed just how shaken he was by the defeat and what was weighing on his mind in those difficult moments. Sitting in the interview room with his face still marked from the fight, Teofimo spoke candidly like never before about what comes next. He began by reflecting on the fight itself. Shakur was the better man tonight. He executed his plan perfectly, and I just couldn't figure him out. Give him credit. The humility in that statement surprised many, as Teofimo has always been known for his bold confidence and rarely offers praise to opponents, even in defeat.
Teofimo Lopez said, listen, everyone knows I won this fight. 90% of the people here were cheering for Lopez coming in. They all booed him after he said that.
Then Teofimo's tone shifted entirely as he began discussing what this loss meant for his career and his life beyond the ring. His voice cracked slightly as he said, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I've given up everything for boxing. My childhood, my relationships, my body, everything. The emotion was visible as he reflected on years of grueling training camps, relentless effort, and the punishment his body had endured. He went on, I believed I had what it takes to be the best. I really thought I could beat anyone at my peak. But tonight showed me the truth. That raw honesty, confronting his own limits as a fighter, was difficult to witness, especially for fans who have followed Teofimo's journey from the very beginning.
It didn't shock me. By the way, I don't think he was badly hurt with the first knockout. I think what he was more hurt by was realizing this little motherfucker's coming out there and winning round after round, outlanding him. He knew by the middle of that fight he had to turn something around. And by the way, he gave it a little bit more early in the second half of the fight.
The interviewer asked whether this was just disappointment talking or if he was truly serious about stepping away from boxing at only 27, with so much still ahead. Teofimo looked directly into the camera and delivered words that will echo in the sport for years. I am retiring. This was my last fight. I have nothing left to prove and nothing left to give. I need to focus on my family and my health now. The room went completely silent as everyone processed what they had just heard, with the interviewer clearly stunned and struggling to follow up. Social media erupted instantly, with boxing fans across Twitter, Instagram, and every platform sharing their shock and reactions to the announcement.
If Tio is Gordo and not just coming in trying to hammer damage, and blah, 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 if he's Gordo, you got something going. There's going to be a lot of IQ up in it. Yo, I mean, which one of the two beat Loma? Which one of the two beat Josh Taylor?
One fan quickly tweeted, "No way Teofimo is really retiring. He's just emotional right now. Give him a few weeks, and he'll be back talking about comeback fights." Another devoted supporter wrote, "This is heartbreaking to watch. Teofimo gave us so many incredible moments. If this really is the end, thank you for everything, champ." Immediately, debates began over whether this retirement was genuine or simply an emotional reaction to a tough defeat that Lopez might later reverse. Many boxing analysts and experts shared their thoughts on social media about the potential impact on the sport if he truly follows through. ESPN boxing analyst Timothy Bradley commented, "Teofimo is one of the most talented fighters of this generation. I hope he takes the time he needs before making this decision final."
Teofimo Lopez, from a degree, he does have a high boxing IQ as well. He does. I mean, he was able to deal with Lomachenko. He was able to deal with Taylor and other guys. You know, he does possess a high boxing IQ. He has that explosiveness or that elite athleticism.
Hall of Fame coach Freddie Roach weighed in, saying that dropping a major fight can be crushing, but walking away at just 27 is a drastic move. In his view, the young fighter still has another 5 to 10 years to compete at the highest level. That said, people close to Teofimo's camp weren't entirely surprised by the retirement talk, based on discussions they'd had with him before the bout. One source told reporters that Teofimo had privately said if he lost to Shakur, his career might be over. He poured everything he had into this training camp and this fight. That context suggests the retirement talk isn't simply an emotional response, but something Teofimo had genuinely been weighing for some time. In his post-fight interview, he also spoke candidly about the wear and tear boxing has put on his body after years in both the amateur and professional ranks.
But I'm leaning towards Teofimo.
Okay.
Just because I like him. I like him more. He's a good friend of mine.
Okay. And then
Lopez spoke with obvious discomfort, admitting that the pain never really goes away. He said his hands hurt daily, his back aches, and even his head is constantly sore. Although he's only 27, he feels more like he's 40 because of the punishment his body has endured. These concerns are genuine and reflect a reality many fighters live with, even if few are willing to say it out loud while they are still active. The long-term impact of years of sparring and competition, especially on the brain, is now being taken far more seriously, particularly by younger fighters who've seen the lasting consequences. Teofimo also opened up about his family, explaining how the loss and the idea of retirement could affect his bond with his wife and young son. He said his son is growing up and he wants to be present for him, to stay healthy for his future. He questioned the value of being a champion if it means missing out on his child's childhood. Those words resonated with many, reminding people that life ultimately extends beyond titles and championship belts.
He was the world champion. There is no comparison to Shakur's style and my son's style. Yeah. My son is more entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He has more, how you call it? He has more,
There's that it factor.
what do you call it when you have a lot of,
The emotional atmosphere was impossible to miss, even affecting seasoned boxing reporters who have witnessed countless fights over the years. In the background, Teofimo's father, who has also been his trainer for his entire career, appeared deeply shaken and chose not to speak when reporters tried to get a comment. The bond between Teofimo and his father has always been intense and complex, with his father playing a major role in both the peaks and struggles of his career. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson, while handling his own post-fight media duties, was asked about the talk surrounding Teofimo's possible retirement. He responded with honesty and respect, saying he supports whatever decision Teofimo makes. Shakur acknowledged how demanding the sport is and added that if Teofimo believes it's time to walk away, that choice should be respected, while also emphasizing that Teofimo is a special fighter. Shakur's composed and respectful tone after the win stood in contrast to the pre-fight trash talk, highlighting the mutual respect that exists between the two competitors.
My granddad is focused, I'm focused, we all locked in on the task, but Teofimo Sr. is nowhere to be found. Last night he was in the lobby, drugged out, head over
I don't
heels.
gotta worry about that. You
So at the
focusing
end of
on
the
me,
day,
B.
right now,
Yes, you is.
he's emotional.
Yes, you is.
That's
You
why he
gotta
acting
focus
like
on
Why
that.
you clowning?
As word of the potential retirement spread, fighters and key figures across boxing began weighing in with their reactions. Former rival Vasily Lomachenko shared a message calling Teofimo a true warrior, adding that no matter what path he chooses, he should take pride in his career and everything he's accomplished. Current lightweight champion Gervonta Davis also reacted, tweeting that he had hoped for a rematch someday and expressing respect for Teofimo and his contributions to the sport. This wave of support from fellow fighters underscores the level of respect Teofimo has earned, even with the controversy and outspoken moments that have marked parts of his career. Promoter Bob Arum, who has worked closely with Teofimo, released a statement urging him to take his time before making any final calls about his future. He noted that retirement declarations made immediately after difficult losses are often revisited once emotions cool and the fighter has a chance to reflect.
Said he's the last fight with ESPN. Well, he's in no position to say that because Top Rank has an exclusive deal with ESPN, and he'll fight with whatever network we want to put the fight on.
Boxing has seen this story many times. Fighters announcing retirement in the emotional aftermath of a loss, only to return months or even years later for another run. However, there was something different in the way Teofimo spoke, and the visible pain in his eyes suggested this may not be a typical heat-of-the-moment decision. As a result, discussions about his legacy have already begun, with fans and analysts debating where Teofimo Lopez would rank among his generation if this truly marks the end of his career. His resume includes standout victories over Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Commey, and several other elite opponents, wins that will be remembered as defining moments. At his peak, Teofimo blended speed, power, and self-belief, making him one of the most thrilling fighters in boxing to watch.